So, when you think about getting an MRI, you probably picture this, totally automatic process, right? You slide into a big machine, it makes a bunch of noise, and poof, out comes a perfect picture of what's going on inside you. But what if that picture isn't perfect? What if the machine is really just a tool, and the real magic, the thing that makes the difference between a blurry guess and a crystal clear diagnosis, is actually in the hands of an artist? And that brings us to the big question here. What actually makes a medical scan good? I mean, is it just about having the latest, fanciest, most expensive machine? Or is there something else going on? Something you can't see, but that's way more important. Well, it turns out a truly useful image isn't just captured, it's crafted. Yeah, it's an active, hands-on process that absolutely relies on human expertise and, honestly, a bit of intuition to get it right. The technology is amazing, for sure, but it's the technician who really makes the difference. Okay, so to see this in action, we're going to follow a team of expert MRI techs as they look over a pretty standard, out-of-the-box scan of an ankle. Now, to you and me, it looks fine. But to them, the problems jump right off the screen. This quote from one of the techs, it just nails the first big problem. See, the scanner's default setting automatically applied a smoothing filter. But for a musculoskeletal scan, where you need to see every sharp little detail of bones and ligaments, that is a huge no-no. And this slide right here really shows you the gap. On the left, that's what we see. A picture of an ankle. Looks okay. But on the right, that's what the experts see. A flat, kind of washed out image where all the important stuff, like the texture of the bone and the sharpness of the cartilage, is just gone. What looks fine to us is actually hiding the truth. So let's break down exactly what went wrong here. First off, the resolution, they call it the matrix, was just set way too low. Think of it like a photo with not enough pixels. Second, that smoothing filter we just talked about was blurring out all the fine details. So these two default settings, meant to be a one-size-fits-all solution, were basically covering up exactly what a doctor needs to see. But here's the thing, and this is crucial. They didn't just accept this flawed image. Nope, this is where the craft really begins. They went behind the glass, so to speak, to manually tune the machine and fix what the default settings got wrong. Now, the main tool they used was the image filter. And honestly, you can think of it just like the filters on your phone's camera. You know how a smoothing filter can hide texture and make things look flat? Well, that's what the default was doing. But a sharp filter, it does the exact opposite. It makes all those important edges and details just pop. So their process was super methodical. First, they spotted the core problem. The image is way too smooth. Next, they picked their tools, the image filter and the resolution settings. Then they made the switch, going from that smooth filter to a sharp one. And finally, they boosted the resolution, bumping it up from 256 to 320 to pull in way more detail. All right, so they've found the problem, they've worked their magic. Now for the payoff. Let's see just how big of a difference a few little tweaks can really make. And believe me, I'm not exaggerating when I say the difference between that first scan and the second, optimized one, it's truly night and day. We're talking about the same patient, the same machine, just minutes apart. I mean, just look at this. In the first scan, everything's flat, but in the optimized one, you can actually see the texture of the bone. It just pops. The cartilage, which was a blurry mess before, is now totally sharp and defined. You can even see the blood vessels clearly. This isn't just about a prettier picture. This could be the difference between a correct diagnosis and a missed one. And here's the part that's going to blow your mind. How much extra time did it take to get this massive leap in quality? 18 seconds. That's it. A few expert adjustments in 18 more seconds transformed a mediocre scan into an incredibly powerful diagnostic tool. And this really gets to the heart of it all. Medical imaging isn't just about pushing a button. It's a field where human judgment, years of experience, and real skill are, well, they're irreplaceable. One of the technicians just summed it up perfectly. He said, "This is where the art comes in. I call it the puzzle." See, he doesn't see it as a robotic procedure. He sees it as a unique puzzle for every single patient, and his job is to fit all the pieces together to get the clearest possible picture. So you see, the craft of an MRI tech is so much more than just running a machine. You have to be meticulous. You have to think on your feet. You're tailoring every single scan to that specific person on the table.
Each image you take informs the next one, building and building until that puzzle is finally solved.
And that kind of leaves us with this fascinating thought, doesn't it? This kind of deep, invisible expertise is all around us, in jobs we probably take for granted all the time. It really makes you wonder, what other critical crafts are happening just out of sight, shaping the world we rely on every single day?